It's going to be a little while before we get back to the porch project again, and I wanted to make sure and get these deck boards dried out before I tried running them through the joiner and the planer. They were never going to get dry out there stacked up outside between the frost and the snow and the rain. So once we got all the tools moved up here from the hangar and we brought these deck boards in here, got them stacked up in here so they get dried out a little bit. It's not going to be kiln dried or anything, but to get most of the wet moisture off of them anyway. I've got a slab stuck on the mill ready to go. I can get it milled up and get my other deck boards I need to finish this out. I get those milled up. I put the forks on the Bobcat a couple days ago to move those tools out of the hangar up into the basement to get them out of the way so I could get back to work on the airplane. I grabbed this slab that came off of that big yellow cedar log and set it up here on the sawmill. We got a little break in the rain today, and I was kind of waiting for the shop to heat up and stuff so I could get to working on something else in there. I decided to go ahead and rip that up. I cut 3 2-inch flitches on it so far. The bottom one's going to be nice, the middle one's going to be good. The top one didn't turn out to be quite so nice. It's got too much of the cadmium layer on the other end and it's rotted in there. And I could have made 8-foot 2x6s out of it, at least one good 8-foot 2x6 and probably a 2x4. But I went ahead and sliced it again into 1x's. So I've got 2 1x flitches on there and 2 2x flitches. So the 1x flitches, I'm going to go ahead and take those off and stick them in the lumber pile, and then I'll take and tip those 2 2-inch ones up on edge. That one's going to be a pain in the butt to get up on edge because it's got so much wane on it. The bottom one's going to be okay, but 1 2x is not very easy to set up on this mill. It's hard to keep it straight, to keep it vertical on that, especially one that wide. That one's about 20 inches wide or more there. How to get the rest of my 2x6s out of there that I needed without any problem. There'll be nice 2x6s. This is the top flitch after I pulled the remaining slab off of it. And you get down here, you got some bluing in it here, which really doesn't hurt anything. But over here, this cadmium layer here is rotten there. And as we get down to this end, it takes up most of it. So I'll be able to get a good board out of here through the center of this half. And down here on this end, it's pretty bad. Got 3 real nice 2x6s out of that first flitch there, the 2-inch flitch, and a 1x2, which is actually pretty nice. I thought it was not going to be so nice because it was on that edge there, but that was pretty good. And then this piece here, I could actually saw that into some more 1x2s, or it can make firewood. Doesn't make any difference. It's still usable for something. The 3 16-foot 2x6s will cover 3 feet of that deck, and I think that's all I need. But I still got at least 2 nice 2x6s to come out of that other slab there, or that other flitch there. I went ahead and stuck that other flitch on there and milled it up, and I got 2 nice 2x6s out of it. And I got a 2x3, and the reason I got a 2x3 is because I screwed up and only raised the blade up to 9 inches instead of 10 inches. Now this flitch had a little bit of cut off, a flat spot on one edge of it, and I put that down, but there was still a lot of wane on it, and it wasn't a very good edge. There was some rot in it and stuff like that, but that was the only flat edge I had. These clamps on this table will not clamp a 2-inch board. They won't clamp down to 2 inches. So I used one of the other 2x6s and stuck in there for a shim to clamp that up with. Well, I took the first first piece off of it that was scrap, and I cut down on it, made sure I had plenty of good meat underneath it. And then I cut the first 2x6 off of it, and then I flipped everything over so I had a good edge down on it, and with the idea that I just measure up from the bottom 6 inches. Well, I had an 11.5-inch piece there, and so I could have cut up 10 inches and had a 2x4, but I screwed up, like I said, and measured 9.5 inches instead, or 9 inches instead. Anyway, I wound up with a 2x3 instead, but it's still usable for something. Well, now I've got 2 more 2x6s, so that gives me 2 more feet. I went up and counted to make sure I had 13 feet. I had 26 good 2x6s up there that I put in the basement a while ago. And so the 3 I got off that first flitch would have made 3 more feet, which would give me my 16. So now having 2 more of them gives me plenty in case I screw up one or something like that. Or once you get to edging these, running these through the joiner, of course they're not going to be a full 6 inches anymore. It may come out that they wind up being a little bit narrow depending on how much waviness there is in these boards and stuff from the bandsaw mill. But anyway, I've got more than enough of them now to do the deck on there once you get them dried and planed up and stuff. So that's about all I'm going to do now. Put the mill away again. I'll take the blade off of it, put it away, and shut the mill down and cover it back up, and we'll be done with this for a little while. It's a wild night last night, and this morning we got probably 1.5 inches or 2 inches of rain, most of it this morning overnight, and the wind started picking up this morning and was blowing about 30 miles an hour or better around here. Not much enthusiasm for getting out and getting anything done. I was glad I got that slab milled up yesterday. Well, I got 5 more of those 2x6s milled up yesterday, which will give me 5 more feet of deck on there, and I only needed 3 feet more. So that'll be plenty. That'll be great because I'll have extra that way in case I screw something up. But those are all just beautiful boards, all #1 boards, so there shouldn't be any problem with them. But you can always use an 8-foot 2x6. Once it dried up around here, it's actually pretty nice now. You can see patches of blue sky, a little gust of wind every once in a while, but it hasn't rained for an hour or so now. So I got the sawhorses out and trimmed those 2x6s up into 8-foot lengths and then packed them up to the basement. We stacked all of those up in the basement so they could dry out a little bit. This is one of the 1-inch flitches that I cut off of that slab. And my son came over and looked at it this morning. He wants a piece of it to use for his computer table. He wants to make a stand so he can put his keyboard down on it when he's standing up working. He thought this would work for that. So I'm going to cut this up into a couple chunks and take it up into the basement and let it dry out a little bit, and then he can pick out what he wants of it. Well, Zen, you come back down here. I've got to tie you back up again, bud. Yeah, I've got to tie you back up again, bud. A little walkabout, a little drink. Yeah, that's good. So this board is just shy of 17 feet long. Well, I'm just going to cut it in half, about 8.5 feet here. And it doesn't have to be precise or square or anything. I'm just cutting it so we can handle it better and give it a chance to dry out. So I don't know exactly what he's got in mind, what he wants. I don't know whether he wants it with a wane on it or what, although the wane on this is rotten sapwood. Well, that's not very good. But I'll let him cut it to size when he gets ready to use it. So this is the upside here. The wane comes up this way. So this lower board you can get, well, with the wane on it, it's 19.5 inches wide. You get inside the wane on here, inside this one's actually not too bad. The cabling layer's not too bad on it, but it can make a 16-inch wide board easy enough. This one here, of course, is 14 inches on this end, and down here this rot comes out this way, but it's not very thick there. but that's at least a 10-inch board there. I'm going to go stack that up in the basement so it gets a chance to get dried out. Oh yeah, that's as heavy as the 2x.